to see you again. Look at this. This is like one of those shows where the presenter's got the telephone number underneath him. Well, just in case you didn't know, this is Art Attack. Great show lined up today. Coming up in today's show, a great way of inventing weird-looking monsters. And see if you can guess which exotic location I'm in for a big art attack. And how to make a bedside light that has a secret. OK, before we get started, can I ask you, have you got a tag? No, it's not a personal question. It's what graffiti artists call the way that you do your name in a graffiti style. Well, here's a real cool way of designing your own graffiti tag. And no, don't worry, I'm not silly enough to be scribbling on desks or walls or anything. That's not on. For this graffiti tag, you can use any paper or crayons. I'm going to use coloured paper and chalk pastels. So, OK, here we go. The idea is to write your name in big, chunky letters like this. And it's also a good effect if you tuck one letter behind the other. And this style of angular block letters works really well. Yeah, nice and chunky. Then take some white chalk and add a little trick. Just draw a small dot somewhere on each letter, doesn't matter where. Then colour each letter in using nice bright colours, but don't cover the dots. Now, different colour for the next letter. And again, a different colour for the next letter. And finally, blue there, I think. All nice bright colours. Then, when you've done each letter in nice bright colours, strengthen up the black line. If you're using pastels, be careful not to accidentally smudge it or it gets messy. You want these black lines to be really strong. That's looking good. Now to really jazz it up and turn it into super cool graffiti, just gently smudge the dots to make them look like highlights. And then just gently rub your finger along the black lines. Don't smudge them too much. Just run your finger along them because you want to create a sort of fuzzy effect, as if they've been sprayed on. And then just thicken up all of those bottom lines to give it a real chunky 3D effect. And again, give them a rub to create the sprayed effect. Then draw a coloured outline around the whole thing, but keep it straight and jagged. Do it twice in different colours. And finally, again, in black. Then to really finish it off with a heavy metal effect, draw some white shine lines going diagonally across bits of your lettering, like this. Now just make sure all the lines go in the same direction and make them nice and bold and thick like that. And to make it really stand out, just put some starry twinkles around the corners of the letters around the edge like that. And make sure you keep the twinkly bits nice and thin, like this. And there's my name in cool graffiti writing, my graffiti tag. And you can create many different styles of graffiti lettering. Use different art materials and different shaped letters. These are fat and blobby letters. Arrows and triangles look cool, even shapes on the letters themselves there. Or even really distorted letters with all sorts of extensions. Today, try it yourself, design your own graffiti tag. Just recently, I was lucky enough to visit somewhere really exotic. Let's see if you can guess where it was. So, did you guess where it was? Japan? No, it was the Japanese garden at Mount Ephraim, just down the motorway from the Art Attack studio. Just as exotic and just as beautiful though. How about this? A bedside light with a difference. A secret treehouse lamp. It's a real secret hideaway for any miniature toys or models you might have. And would you believe it? It's powered by a torch. Simple to make in 4 easy parts. A full Art Attack. First, blow up a balloon that's bigger than your chosen toy and carefully draw a circle around the knot that's about the same size as your torch. You'll see why in a moment. Then, take a sheet of newspaper and twist it lengthways, holding it together with tape so that it's a nice tight twist. Then, loop the twist into a teardrop shape. This will be the entrance to your treehouse, so adjust it to the size you want and tape the ends together. Then trim off any excess. And tape the entrance to the front of your balloon, making sure that when you do this, you take care not to pop the balloon. And again, plenty of tape on to keep it in place. Then make lots of twists in the same way, and starting at the line that you drew around the knot, Begin to cover the rest of the balloon, following the shape of the entrance. So line it up with that top line and then twist it around the entrance like that. And make sure when you're taping that you tape the twists to each other rather than the balloon. And the idea is to only go up to that line that you drew. So tape it round, and as you go, trim off any excess. And when you've covered the whole balloon, it'll look like this. And because you tape the twists to each other rather than the balloon, it'll make it easier to remove the balloon like this. And as you only went up to that line you drew on the balloon, your torch should fit quite snugly in the hole. Perfect. Now you just need to make it more tree-like. For this, you're going to need a lot more newspaper twists. Lay your treehouse down on its side and tape the twists around the entrance, but this time so that they stick out over the top and bottom. And use lots of tape for this. Then, when you stand the treehouse up, these sticky out strips form the roots at the bottom of the tree to make the base for the treehouse, and the branches at the top. And when you cover the whole thing, your treehouse will be able to stand up on its own, and when you put the torch in, it'll be hidden behind those longer twists at the top. Now you need to strengthen the whole thing up. Paste a layer of PVA glue all over your treehouse. This will make everything more solid and make it easier to paint over the sticky tape. You could also glue on bits of newspaper if you've left any gaps, but not too much, as you don't want to lose the tree-like texture. And when it's completely dry, your treehouse will be rock hard and ready to paint. Start by painting the inside of your house a nice light brown or even yellow. And if you keep it nice and bright, when the torch is on, the inside will really light up. Then paint the outside a nice woody brown. And you could always streak in some darker shade for a realistic effect. And when you finish painting it and it's dry, simply pop your toy inside the den, then put the torch in the top, and when the lights are low, there's your secret treehouse lamp glowing in the dark. Brilliant, isn't it? And you could do different types of treehouse depending on who lives there. How about this one? Fit for a princess. Or this one would be perfect for your pet creepy crawlies. Try it yourself, a secret treehouse lamp. Do you know what, believe it or not, when I was at school there was no such thing as computers, so if you'd have sent your art attacks to me, I'd have had to hang them all on the wall. Can you imagine the size of the walls? Thank goodness for computers, I say. The Art Attack Gallery. Now I do like Candy's picture. Look at this. A mother and baby zebra hiding in the long grass. But with all those black and white stripes, I don't think they'll stay hidden for long. And this is a clever portrait by Lucy. By painting the features of a face looking in different directions, and by only using two colours, she's created a really stylised effect. And in this painting, Brad has captured the impression of sailing boats on water. I particularly like the way he's done the reflections with bold splashes. Yeah, that's a brilliant painting from Brad. Now, have you ever been in the middle of a painting and you've been so impatient to finish it, you just can't wait for the part that you've done to dry before getting on with the next bit? And you end up smudging it with your hand and ruining the painting altogether? Yeah, me too. Well, what you need is a smudge stick. Now, let me show you what I mean. First, you're going to need a long stick. A piece of garden cane is perfect for this. Then take an old rubber glove and just cut the thumb off, like that. And then pop in a bit of cotton wool just to pad it out. So stuff it down, just push it down into the end like that, and then pop it on the end of your stick and hold it into place with an elastic band. Like that. And there is your smudge stick. So, OK, how does it work? Well, I've finished this part of my painting, but I want to get on with some small detail over here, but the thing is still wet. So, get your smudge stick, rest it by the side of your picture, like that, and then hold the other end up with one hand, and then you can rest your painting hand on the stick and keep it steady while you're painting. Look at that. See that? Really steady and really good to rest on. And you avoid the wet paint underneath. No smudging. And you know, professional artists have been using this trick for years. They call them maul sticks. Good, isn't it? And the rubber glove tip stops the smudge stick from sliding about. Good trick, that. So, where were we? Oh, yes, a joint effort between Joe and Miri. And just as well, because look at all those hieroglyphics. Must have taken ages. Now look at this. Ben's picture is painted in silhouette. It's very dramatic, with the stark shapes of the cacti and birds contrasting brilliantly with the sunset sky. And I love this mosaic cat that Lexi's drawn. The colours of the mosaic look so vibrant and contrast with the cat, so it stands out just perfectly. And take a look at the scary creatures Rana has invented. I think by repeating the image and colouring each one differently, he's produced a really spooky heart attack. Yeah, great monster picture, Rana. Now, here's a great way to invent weird monsters. Simply draw a funny-shaped monster mouth, any shape you like. So here we go. Let's do a funny mouth like that. And let's put in some lips and some teeth. And now, the fun bit. Just use this mouth as the starting point for your monster and draw all the other weird monster bits around it. But there's one rule. Go weird. Don't do anything normal. So, OK, here we go. Let's do his eyes, but not normal eyes. Let's do 3 of them. And how about some legs? But again, go very weird. Let's put some big feet on the end, like that. And how many toes? 10? Nah, hundreds. And let's do 4 arms. So there we go. We go 1 there. 1, 2, 3. And 1 up there, I think. And let's not put a nose in, but let's have his nostrils sort of hanging down like that. Let's see, and let's have them dripping a bit. In fact, let's have the whole thing dribbling. Sort of snotty gunge everywhere. Freaky or what? Good though, isn't it? Build your own monster just doing a funny monster mouth first. And if you do a different mouth, you get a different monster. Different, but just as weird. And with a little bit of imagination and a lot of weirdness, you can create some really mad monsters. Just draw your monster mouth first, then make sure nothing else is normal. Completely mad. Try it yourself. Draw some monster mouths and create some really weird creatures around them, but make sure nothing is normal.